Welcome to the weekend and welcome back to Demon of the Week. And today we're going to look at the 28th spirit of the Goetia, being Berith.
Welcome to my channel. You are entering the world of magic and mysticism with your host, Lee W. Johnson. Keep the lights on and help improve the channel by becoming a supporter for just $2.99 per month. Hit the join button.
Okay, Berith. Let's begin. With the usual stuff, correspondences to start with. The date, December 22nd to 30th. Direction south, tarot is Two of Pentacles, planet Venus, metal copper, element fire, color green, plant is heliotrope, incense sandalwood, zodiac is 1 to 10 degrees Capricorn, and the N is Hoath, Redar, Ganabal, Berith. So the Goetia has quite a bit to say actually. Does mention that Berith has two other names, being, I'm assuming it's pronounced BEALE or BEAL, and BOFRY or BOLFRY. Says that Berith appeareth in the form of a soldier with red clothing, riding upon a red horse and having a crown of gold upon his head. He giveth true answers, past, present, and to come. He can turn all metals into gold. He can give dignities and confirm them unto man. And also goes on to say, he speaketh with a very clear and subtle voice. And then says, he is a great liar and not to be trusted unto. Which I find quite interesting because it states he giveth true answers. I'm not sure why he gives true answers and then is considered to be a great liar. I have a suspicion that the original author of this text may have asked for an answer to something and just didn't like it. However, bear with me here. Connolly says, Berith prefers the magician to come to the correct answer on his own and will often impart mistruths to impart lessons. This seems to be a method of instruction rather than something done underhandedly. So, Berith is possibly a trickster. And a trickster, you'll find that tricksters will lie to you or mislead you or lie about themselves in order to create a scenario or something wherein you are forced down a particular path, and by doing that it leads to something gained. It kind of breaks you out of your shell almost, so that you can go on and gain this skill or bit of knowledge or whatever it is, or to impart a lesson. So tricksters are very important in the magical traditions. But yeah, I just found it funny, in the Goetia it says he is a great liar, but previously says he giveth true answers. So I thought that was quite funny. But yeah, Bereth is probably a trickster spirit. So if you are going to work with Bereth, just bear that in mind. It can be very useful, it can be very handy for your own progress. So, that trickster aspect it's valuable. It really is. Connolly also states Demon of Alchemy, which is referring to turn all metals into gold, and can teach the magician to help himself. Now, this turning all metals into gold and referring to alchemy, when we speak about alchemy, it can be spiritual alchemy. It doesn't need to be metallurgical or material or anything like that. So you're not necessarily taking nickel coins and turning them into gold and then going to sell them for a fortune. I say it can be spiritual, spiritual alchemy as well. You can turn yourself into gold. But in reference to anything pertaining to finances, that really base metal aspect, which then becomes gold through the alchemical process, you'll find that this is also symbolic in that you may start a business or start a new job or something like that. But let's talk about starting a business, because that really is that type of progress that you're looking for. So you start a new business. It's tough at the beginning. You got to really work at it. You don't really get much profit. You'll probably not get any profit for the first 6 months. But as you keep at it, you keep growing it, you keep adding to it and keep pushing it, then it gets bigger and bigger, and you get more and more, and you start seeing the profit starting to come in, and then that profit continues to grow. So this is the kind of symbolism where we're taking something, a base metal, and we're turning it into gold. We're taking this base idea and turning it into a business which starts right at the bottom, but it turns into gold eventually if we keep at it and we keep applying an alchemical process to it, a symbolic alchemical process. So, don't think that you're going to call Berith with a bunch of coins and say, please turn this into gold. That's probably not going to work. But you could probably ask for alchemical advice regarding alchemy itself. Right, there wasn't anything on Jehannam. In the Goetia ritual book, it says red is associated with military masculine images. In this context, it symbolizes vengeance, ferocity, cruelty, and bloodlust. I don't particularly agree with that. I get the association with red. You've got a soldier in red clothing on a red horse, which does bring to mind a very Martian imagery. So you have that Martian or Mars influence in here, even though the planet is said to be Venus, the ruling planet, that is. But we have this Martian aspect, and therefore there is that kind of, the warlike symbolism to it. But I don't particularly think it needs to be vengeance, ferocity, cruelty, and bloodlust. Ferocity maybe, because we go in and we become ferocious. And especially, coming back to starting a business, sometimes you have to be ferocious. You have to have that Martian or Mars influence to really just pound things away. So I can sort of see it, but I think this is taking it a bit more towards the bloodlust than it should be. Also states, Bereth reveals the invisible worm of the night and uncoils its dark secrets. I have absolutely no idea what the hell that's supposed to mean. The invisible worm of the night. Okay. But I thought I'd add that because I thought it was quite interesting. I suppose if you were to consider it, the invisible worm, serpent-like, so it could be the serpentine or draconic energy of the night, and coils its dark secrets. It could refer to Kundalini if you really, really, really stretch the interpretation, but I don't know. I'm not sure what they were talking about there. All right, so that is Bereth. And I'll see you next week for, let's just check who we're doing next week. I think it was Astaroth. Yes, Astaroth. One of the favourites of a lot of people. Okay. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Cheers for now.